Yes, people, welcome back to Above the Knee with me, Liam Loftus. And as always, we are joined by Jay Extended. Jay, how are we, man?
Great, looking forward to this.
And I guess we're very, very excited about the David Attenborough of women's football, Sophie Lawson.
Hey.
How are you?
Not too bad. Every time someone says that, I regret putting it in my Twitter bio, but yeah.
I like it. I saw it and I was like, that bang. I was like, that's definitely going in my intro. So let's start from the beginning. What was your journey into women's football? I'm always really interested in people's journeys into women's football. What was yours? How did yours look?
There's a longer story, but there's a shorter story. Basically, I was scrolling on Twitter one day and I saw a tweet from the BBC that the second half of England versus Canada is about to kick off, and it was England's last warm-up match before the 2015 World Cup. Thought, I'm not doing it. I'll watch that. And there's a World Cup coming up. That's news to me. So I watched the World Cup, and I kind of had a habit, I still do it, of trying to watch every match live, even when it's simultaneous games. Stop scoring. Which is because they always put the good matches together, and then you get the ones that they're always together as well. So yeah, I watched my way through the 2015 World Cup, and I was trying to dig out as much info as I could on the players at the time, sort of learning in real time. And then, so I live in North London, and there are a couple of teams that play nearby. But, I can go and see some matches. I can go and do that. So first weekend of WSL and WSL2 as it was then, back after the World Cup, I went off to a couple of games, and then I went to some more games. I thought, I should wonder if I can write about what I'm doing. And I went to some more games and a lot more games, and then a lot more games. And then pandemic, and not many games since. But yeah, quite fortuitously, basically.
Nice. I was just thinking there when you're saying you're watching two games simultaneously. I always try, and then if not, and I know I'm like watching a game, and I'm like, let me just change the channel and check this one, and I just know I've missed the goal. Like I just know it, and it's like, right, phone vibrates. I'm like, you're joking, I missed the goal. Switch back to that game. It's like phone vibrates. Other game. I'm like, no, bro, I can't keep doing this, and I'm on my phone watching. And then you're like, is this live? But yeah, I love that. 3 years before the pandemic, you must have been to a fair few games then.
66, yeah. I used to track my mileage, which is a bit weird, but I don't know. I like to hold it up as, I've actually done stuff this year. That's useful. So I used to sort of track how many games I go to and my mileage. And at some point during the 2019 World Cup, I hit 100,000 miles, which I've never left Europe as well.
That's crazy.
That's mental.
That is great.
Yeah, so that's so many coaches to Manchester and back as well. It's been I've seen a lot of football. Some bad games as well, and excuse me, and some good games and some unknown players. But it's been fun. And then the pandemic hit, and we've been in here for a couple of years.
100,000 miles. Trying to work out that's literally every end of the country sort of thing. What was your favourite game like?
Oh God, man. You can't ask that.
There's always one though. Like for me, there's like a game that I remember, and I'm like, is that my favorite game? And I'm like, maybe not, but like it really sticks in my head, so I must have liked it.
Yeah, there's a couple. At the worry of upsetting Chelsea fans. Got a few years ago. Was it? I think maybe 2017. Maybe not. No, I can't remember. It all blurs. Chelsea played London Bees in the Conti Cup, and this was about the only season that they reverted to a straight knockout instead of the group stage. And Chelsea had like beaten them 8-0 and like 11-0 or whatever in previous years, and Bees won. They ended up being a shootout in the end, but it was just. And and Chelsea are like subbing on their best players, and you've got like Karen Carney up against like a Welsh goalkeeper that no one's ever heard of, or someone who was playing in the fourth tier the previous season, and it's just and Bees managed to. In fact, they could have won it in normal time, but Chelsea scored very late in stoppage time. A corner, a contentious corner, of a header, and so it went to extra time. And and you kept having these moments in it of Chelsea score. Oh, that's going to be it. That's going to be the floodgates. But B stayed in it, and it was kind of incredible game to kind of go through the shootout as well. And you've got Gemma Davison coming out. Like I think maybe G was taking. I can't even remember. But you're going, oh no, and then they get over the line, and it was it was a really oh my god kind of game. And I think there were obviously a lot of people wanted Chelsea to win, but I think for the neutral as well to see, as they were a second team part-time, London Bees, so many players that they just signed sort of like from QPR who at that point were in the third tier and stuff. It was like, how have they it was really
magic
cool.
of the cup, as they say. The magic of the cup.
The magic of the Conti Cup.
I think one of my favourite games is, this is going to sound really cliche because it was an FA Cup final, but I say maybe 2017 when City beat West Ham, and it had been on TV, like the West Ham season had been on TV. Yeah. And I was like, and it was like watching that alongside, and I was like, bro, if we get West Ham, I was like, we're gonna break Jack Sullivan's heart. I was like, I'm here for it. And I was like, I'm this awful person now. He's like, we've got to do it, and we beat him. And I was like, I can't wait to watch this. And it took ages to come out on iPlayer. I kept checking for it. I was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm just checking to see if it's on. Checking, didn't come out, and then it came out. I was like, this feels even better. I was like, this feels even better. And I was like, oh, am I a sicko? Like, I'm a City fan, so I should be happy. But I was like, am I more happy that Jack Sullivan's got egg on his face? I was a bit annoyed. I was like, it's not really like, it was like Britain's youngest boss or whatever. And I was like, yeah. I mean, they've changed the name now, which I do like. But I was just like, it's not all about you, bro. I want to see you cry now. Like, I'm over it.
Stop, he's already dead. That was what, like 2019, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I mean, everything before the pandemic, I just feel like it was 2020. Yeah. Like every year. And beforehand, I'm like, it was 2020, wasn't it? Yeah. Because everything's all mixed up now. It's like, bro, it's like the African Cup of Nations is in 2022, and it's like African Cup of Nations 21, the Euros was 20, and it's like the Olympics. And I was like, major sporting events and dates to me now are just, I don't know, they just happen, and I can tell you a player or a moment, but I can't tell you the dates. I'm over it now.
And City won so many FA Cups as well. Like it gets confusing.
Well, we do all right at the FA Cup. I do love one embarrassing moment for me. So I was working at City at the time, and I went to the game, and I was like, if we win, I'll get on the pitch to get like the after thing. And in like the briefing, they're like, right, no one go on the pitch. I was like, I'm sort of like, in my head, I've committed to myself to get it now. Went on, and then like, I don't know, you might have seen it, to be fair, in Georgia Stanway's getting interviewed post-match, and they've got like the Perspex boards, and you can see through them, can't you? But it's like the sponsors, you can see through them. And I like told my dad to watch it. I'm like, I'm like telling everyone, like, watch the final. It's gonna be sick with her. Watch the final. And then like I get on the pitch after, and then like later on after I'm like been pulled off, and like my phone like goes off, and my dad's like, did you just get dragged off the pitch? And I was like, I was like, how do you know it's got dragged off the pitch? He's like, I've just watched security frog march you off behind post-match. And I was like, no way. And I'm just like on my phone, sulking, like walking past behind this post-match. And everyone was like, oh, like the content was sick. Like the video looked unreal. But everyone was like, oh, like you're going to be in a bit of bother it. And I was like, it's okay. It's the last game of the season. I'll take the slap on the wrist. I was like, by the time we're next back here, this time next year, I was like, maybe stuff's changed or something. I don't know. But it was very much worth it, I'm telling you.
Do you think the Birmingham City Arsenal result was kind of like the London Bees Chelsea result in terms of like upsets people didn't expect?
I mean, it was an upset. I don't think it was sort of to that extreme. But Arsenal do kind of have that habit of coming up against teams and dropping points unexpectedly. I mentioned the other day, like they ended up drawing with Yeovil when they could have still finished top 2 at one point. So they do kind of have these moments, but they were pretty dreadful. I mean, Birmingham never want to take anything away from how well Birmingham performed. They really did, but you know, if you're not an Arsenal fan and if you're not a Chelsea fan either, then it's, well, I mean, if you're a Chelsea fan, you're just laughing. Like so much of that on my timeline. But it's good because you kind of say, you know, oh, this is a league, and then you see all these blowouts, and it's not that case. And then you have moments of this, and you have Reading beating Chelsea, and you're like, oh, actually, maybe anyone can beat anyone on the day if the stars align. That makes it that bit more interesting. Well, I mean, ultimately, it might be enough to save Birmingham's season. Maybe it might be enough to sink Arsenal's title challenge. But you know, it's everyone else has that. You know, the rest of the season to correct and everything. Whereas, say, the magic at the cup, it's all you got to do is for 90 minutes.
That's true.
But, yeah,
I do agree with you. I think with the Birmingham result, it does make the league more entertaining because you don't want to have a couple of teams that don't win any games, and it's like, oh, all of a sudden, it's not like you can look at the fixture list and go, oh, we've got 5 games left, we're going to win all them games. And it's like for Arsenal, like, oh, there's nothing Chelsea can do because if we win our games, we're fine. We're going to beat all these teams. Having like, well, it's almost a banana skin, wasn't it? But like not knowing, I think makes the league so much more exciting. And you go in there and like your stomach's turning a bit when you're sitting in your seat and you're like, oh, I'm not sure about this one. But it's almost complacency, isn't it? But
yeah. I mean, I know if you talk to managers and you talk to players, they do try and stay kind of grounded with it. And, you know, we've still got to win this game. But it's nothing certain. We always show respect to teams. But you're thinking, so it's nice knowing that even a team who sort of struggled like Birmingham, who you wouldn't expect to be Arsenal, can go out and cause a surprise that, don't get too comfortable with the games you've got left in the season. Don't get comfortable if you've got games in hand. You've still got to go out and win them.
Massively. We were talking before we jumped on, we were like, I want to say complaining, but complaining in not the worst way. Steph Horton and then Leah Williamson as well, both signed contracts with no like duration on it. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, I've got my own thoughts. What are your thoughts on it?
See, this is where I get into trouble when I say stuff I shouldn't. So, okay, I'm in a WhatsApp group. I probably won't be for much longer if I mention it. With some of the WSL journalists, and you know, and one of the things we do, among others, is kind of share links, but it's mostly just for, oh, can you transcribe this? Can you transcribe this? I'll transcribe. Really boring stuff, in theory. But so, and someone shared the Arsenal tweet about Leah signing a new contract, or just the video, whatever it was. And someone else was like, oh, how didn't she just sign a new contract? Oh, how long was that for? And so that, which then, so someone asked the Arsenal press guy, who's really lovely and helpful, will you be announcing how long this deal's for? And it was just, no, not this time. And okay, that's right. And it's the same again. City presswoman, really, really helpful. It was like, oh, how long's the deal for? We're not announcing that. We're not saying. It's kind of something you do see more in England, whereas, say, if you look at like any PSG player that signs, they always have their shirt up, like with the year,
with the date. Yeah,
you're like, oh, you're going to be number 2057, are you? Okay, that's
also a 30-odd year contract.
Locked in. Kylian Mbappe is going nowhere. No, it's like, okay, and like loads of clubs are very, oh, we signed it, and it's really useful because then who's out of contract and whereas in England we tend to be a little bit more cloak and dagger about transfer dealings, in terms of sums of money. Anything with a number is really hard to dig out. I think it's just kind of typical of how we are over here, but it can be frustrating because you want to say she signs for that, and it's like, no, she has signed a new deal. It might be for a week, we don't know. It might be until Harry Bow start sponsoring the league. We have no idea about the workings of it, but she is here for now. Yeah, so it can be a bit of a bugger, frankly. But
I think it might be a bit more tactical than this. This is complete, just my head making it up, and I don't know if there's like a database where teams can go on and look how long players got left on the contract. Like I know it's probably not like how Football Manager the game is, but is it almost like, could it be to hide it? Like, okay, we're going to sign you for 2 years and we don't really want everyone to know just in case. And it's all of a sudden, I'm not getting any offers because people don't know my contract's running out. And then it's like, oh, then my team can work a bit harder. It's like, oh no, look, see, like not really, no one's really liking you right now, so you may as well stay here. But I thought it before, like when Lauren Hemp signed her deal, and it was like a 2 year, and I was like, in my head, Lauren Hemp's like one of the best young players. I was like, fine, give her a 5-year deal. I was like, surely you want to lock her down for as long as
sign
possible.
her forever.
Yeah, in my head, I was like, boom, biggest, give her
a 10-year.
Yeah, like whatever it is, let's get her to sign it. But then on the counter of that, like when I step back and stop being a City fan and being selfish sort of thing, I always think like, is it like a money thing? Because if big sponsorship come in, players don't want to be tied down to a really long deal that could be financially amazing for the club, but not seeing the player reap the rewards of both their status and the games. So it is, I find it very interesting. Just the whole contract situation within women's football, I find very interesting. I mean, we were talking about dual registrations, but I won't I won't start that one.
I think there's you still talk about a database. A lot of players in WSL at the very least have managers. So when they're running towards the end of the contract, their manager is, hey, are you interested in signing my player? Hey, sliding into the DMs. You guys looking for a midfielder? It's so there is a lot of stuff that goes on well out of sort of the eye of the public, and I'll be honest, when I got the news through about Hemp, my brain actually went, oh, so Barca won't be signing her in the next window, okay. But I want to see that happen, and nothing against City. I think that would be really cool. But
Jay started. He was saying this to me. I've already had this argument earlier on in the week.
I wanted to see her at Barca just because I don't know. I think she's kind of like a raw prospect right now. Like she is only 21, so we have not seen like polish to her game. And I think if she went to Barcelona, like they would hone her and make her learn different things. So because I think right now she's just a glorified, like I see her as a great athlete. Like she knows her pace, like she will leave you. But I don't think she kind of has a step over yet. She doesn't have kind of like a feint and then just goes the other way. So I think if she went to Barcelona, like that'd be the Ballon d'Or going into her hand, basically.
So you just want to see her work on her techers?
Yeah.
It's a ball roll or something.
It's like Chloe Kelly. I think Chloe Kelly's more polished. I think Chloe Kelly is she's got the step over, she's got the speed, and she's got like that shot from 35 yards. I think Lauren Hemp's not quite there, but obviously she's younger. But I think obviously if you want to speed it up, send her to Barcelona. Just get her in a few rondos and you'd see different
send
things.
her to Barcelona, like City will get her back in a few years. It doesn't work like that. I personally, that's one of my favorite things about her game, that she is so direct. I know she's going to get the ball when she's going to charge the opposition. She's not going to sit around and dance with it. And as pretty as it is, as great it is to see players do stuff like that, if you're chasing a game, I don't want to see Lauren Hemp get the ball over on the left and do a step over. Like, please get to the byline as quick as possible. And that, honestly, that's one of my favorite things. Like, she is so direct.
Yeah, sort of 87th minute, a goal down to Spurs. She gets the ball, does a rainbow flick, and you're like, what the fuck?
Right, you'll be able to see the steam coming off my head. Just like as much as that is amazing. Like when you're controlling the game and you're 2-3, 4-0 up, I'm all for that. I want to see full game, but chasing the game 0-0, 1-0, please just get the ball and penetrate the defense, because I'm not doing anything else.
But sometimes you need a bit of trickery. Like, say you're going up against a Lucy Bronze. Like, okay, you're quick, she's quick, and she wants to beat you to wherever you're going. You might need that bit of trickery. And I think, I don't know, I don't really see it that much in WSL, but I would like to see a bit more flair. Because I think sometimes it can just be direct and like, yeah, you just want to see a bit of some samba football. Like, I don't know, I was watching some Marta clips the other day and I was just like, I'd like to see a bit of that. And I think there's one player, and people wouldn't expect this, but I think Charlie Devlin, if there's any player in Leicester that's Brazilian, I think she's got a bit of Brazilian in her. I think sometimes she does a pass where she'll flick it and you think that's nice, a bit of invention. Like, you can just do a simple 2-yard pass, but like if you flick it with your heel, I'm there for that. That's my kind of thing.
Champagne football.
Yeah.
That's what you're on. See, I think we see that quite a lot in internationals. But I'm more than happy to. This is like serious Brexit ball, isn't it? Like, I like the WSL to be direct.
All right, I'm going. See you.
No, but yeah, I think in internationals, I feel like there's much more leeway for players to do that. But yeah, the WSL, I don't think the WSL's there yet, Jay. I think let's play good football. You can keep your fancy flicks and your champagne. We'll get to that.
I'm going to create the sign. I'm going to take it to most grounds, just in case anyone wants to change their mind.
I think it also depends on just the players you're importing, because we do see a lot of imported players in WSL. They're not necessarily from the parts of the world you expect to see champagne football. It's not such a big thing in, say, Sweden. So if we start like importing loads of players from South America or Spain, I mean, I've seen some Spanish players in WSL over the last few years, well, not recently, but bizarre. They've got that little bit more of a swagger to them. Yeah, I think we tend not to encourage that so much in England, and it's more about going direct. Big lad up at corners, or the very sort of standard
super cliche football. We love it.
Yeah, like just always like English football is just Terry Butcher with his bandaged head. That's what we do. Like if you're playing a player who's like trying to do some stupid shit around you, then if you're English, I always feel like the reaction will just be hacking them down out of annoyance. Like, excuse me, girlie, that's not what we do over here. No, not that I think any players specifically in WSL are go in with intent. I'm just as the caricature in my head. I don't want to get sued.
It's hypothetical. We're creating a character. We're creating
Yeah.
a character. The typical English footballer sort of thing. I mean,
Yeah.
that might get us in trouble with English footballers, but the stereotypical, we'll say.
I mean, I talked to Millie Bright after a game, and it was raining. And I was like, as a centre back, surely you love when it's raining because you can just slide in. And she was like, yeah, really. And it's so it kind of it stands there with the stereotypes. Yeah. So some of them are.
I always hated playing in the rain. I'm going to be honest with you. The first throw in, and my hands are now cold. I'm thinking, I should have stayed home. This isn't for me. But I just mentioned international games then. Let's move on to international tournament, the Euros. Like, I feel like Jay, we speak about this probably at least a couple of times a week because it's just mental. Like, I just find it mental that we've got a home Euros still. What are your thoughts? What are you looking forward to?
Any games in Brentford where I can come back home afterwards, instead of having to get on a coach or to end up in a weird part of France or the Netherlands, as I have at other tournaments. I'm liking that. Looking forward to that. But I think it's just, not necessarily the fact it'll be in England. Again, being able to speak English throughout the tournament when I'm traveling around again will be useful. But the same stuff I think I look forward to every tournament is seeing, if any unexpected teams can show up, if any players announce themselves, and then possibly the longer term impact of a successful run of a team, with interest cultivated at home, and whether that's English fans getting behind the England team and then maybe that trickling through into WSL and other parts of women's football in this country, or that happening with Spanish fans or Austrian fans, or just any way that might help the horrible cliches of the bigger picture of growing the game and getting more eyes onto the sport in general. But yeah, always here for an upset or a team doing a crazy, doing a madness, and just any young player or any player who's given the chance to, with the platform when they have more eyes on them, just to go out and do something and have people saying, okay, right, I'm going to get a shirt with her name on the back, and anything like that. That's my jam. Yeah,
that's sick. I was just thinking then you're saying like ending up random places in the Netherlands and France. I went to the last World Cup. We went, where was it? We were in, I want to say Monaco, but not Monaco. It was the one closer. Nice, yeah, loved it. And it was like, we went for one, we were only there for one game, and it was like, I really want to stay for more. And like, it's not just as simple as, okay, let me just jump in a car or jump in a train and come over. It's like a lot more planning. And I just hope that with it being a home Euros, people can go, oh, we're not doing anything this Saturday. Let's go. And then catch the bug and be like, oh, I loved it. Like, let's see what other games are available. And I do really think that it could snowball and be like so big in the country. And I think that's going to be mega. And from a selfish point of view, like, I can't wait to like I'm a nerd when I'm watching football live. I'm a nerd. Like, I'll pick 3 players and I'll watch you after about 20 minutes, because after a certain amount of time, you can sort of be like, oh, this is how the game's going to go. Like, I know how we're moving now. So now we just pinpoint a player and it's like, oh, okay, you might be losing, but you're like technically ridiculous. And it's like, I can see that. So now it's like, I know to look for you. And I think that's one of the things I'm most looking forward to, like the new talent. Like, because we get the Champions League and we can go digging and watch highlights and stuff in other leagues, but have everything at our fingertips. Yeah, that's what I'm ready. I'm ready to expand my horizons, expand my scouting systems, and have it all like in front of me. Like, I think that's, for me, that's what I'm most excited about.
You have a little list of all the players you want City to sign.
We'll work out. I'll find Gavin. I'm like, yeah, Gareth, here's a little list. I've done some scouting for you.
The wingers are sorted though.
I felt like I did that in 2019, like with Ellen White. After the thing, I was like, Ellen White's a player, and then someone was like, "Oh, we're signing her," you know, and I was like, "This is the one." I was like, that's wrapped. I was like, we're so sweet now. Hasn't been so fortuitous for us, not because Ellen White, she's a baller, but yeah, Chelsea just a bit taking a mick for me, really.
That's how I feel about Lena Oberdorf. I know she's comfortable in Wolfsburg. I know she's not leaving anytime soon, but that's one player. Like, if she did somehow, and God listened to me and brought her to Arsenal, I'd be outside Meadow Park with an Oberdorf shirt. I don't care what number she is. I'll get all different kind of jerseys, but that's one player I really want at Arsenal. I know there's the talk about Viv leaving and whatnot, and I was like, not all hope is lost if Oberdorf decides, you know what Arsenal could do with a great player, and then she decides to come. So, fingers crossed.
You've got quite a good midfield at Arsenal already, depending on where you want to play Oberdorf, because that's a contentious area. But yeah.
I don't know. I like the fact that I just want kind of Arsenal to kind of get that. I don't know. I wouldn't say the Chelsea bench, but you just want a bench of just, okay, not them. All right, I'll bring on them. Not them. Okay, I'll bring on them. Not them. Like, I feel Arsenal don't really have that yet. And I think even the Birmingham game, obviously COVID happens and stuff like that, but I still thought this is a really empty bench for a team that's brought in players. So I was thinking, like, when it comes to quality as well, I'm sure Jonas would enjoy extra options to pick.
Yeah, your bench for the Birmingham game was threadbare, but I've definitely been around Arsenal games where they're winning, and then it's and Viv's coming on, or Beth Mead's coming on, or Manarobuchi's coming on. That's okay. That's what you want to see as the opposition team, and they're coming in fresh, and you're tired and browbeaten. Okay, so yeah, I just think it's just if Arsenal can avoid the injuries and COVID, yeah, but it's Arsenal can never really avoid the injuries. So. Doesn't matter who you sign, they will get injured.
What do you think of the Heath move? Because it's like, I feel it's amazing that she came, but it's like we haven't been able to really see her. So it's like, how would you rate that? Like kind of like an A+ to kind of a C. How would you rate it?
It depends which point of view you want to look at. Heath's a gooner anyway, so that's an A+ for her every day of the week. It's an A+ for everyone who's been like, Heath will join up. Heath will join Arsenal. It will happen one day. Like, we've been hearing it for like 8 years. Heath will join Arsenal. It will happen. Yeah, it's unfortunate that she's barely played. As long as she doesn't come on and play a game against Spurs and miss a penalty, I think her legacy on the pitch will always be better than that of Alex Morgan's at Spurs. So it's kind of that like massive signing, but they're not playing. Yeah, like it would be nice if she could come on and contribute and be an option as well. And she is nearing the end of her career, but again, you're talking about champagne football. She can be a bit of a saucy footballer. I think kind of some of the stuff that you lost with like Van der Donk, some of that, oh God, you're a dick on the pitch, aren't you? Yeah. She's kind of, she does that. Yeah. So if she can actually play before, going back to the US, I think it's just, if nothing more, it's a benefit for Arsenal to have a warm body. So at the moment, I'd say it's a B.
Yeah, that's fair.
It sort of reminds me of like the Rose Lavelle signing for City, like huge name. You're like, I'm so excited, like buzzing, and then it's like, you can't get on the pitch, and you're just like, what's going on? Like, But
But
I
Sam
think
knew
having,
it.
Yeah.
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Having Sam there sort of cushioned that, and you're like, oh, it doesn't matter. We don't really need a bench. Sam losing Sam was one of the hardest things that's happened for Lee. But she was ridiculous. She was like, I always said she could play midfield by herself. I was like, we don't really need. I was like, Kira can do what she wants really. I was like, we don't really need her right now. I was like, Kaz can go play as an attacking midfielder. I was like, Sam can do this. Like, she was just so physical, but then the technical side of her game as well. You're like, this isn't fair. Like, you have too many skills.
Yeah.
Like, you can have one thing, and she's like, no, I'm just gonna take all of these and still ball. And you're like, no, okay, we'll let you off.
Yeah, just sort of second half. Just Kira, do you mind just nipping to Asda for me? I need some bread. Oh yeah, see, don't worry about it. Like, don't you want to wait to full time? No, that's all right. You can go.
So I'll do defending. Don't worry. Oh yeah, I'll do the passing as well. Like, yeah. Cool. No.
Yeah, I'll score the goals. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I think Sam Lewis for me was one. I still think maybe one of the best talents that the WSL's ever had. And even though I felt like I knew it was going to happen. I knew in my head it was like the US players are only going to be here for a year, and I'd made peace with that. Still hurt, man. Still hurt.
I think like the only player who might have been there for longer was Dalkemper, but that's again just stuff behind the scenes. With how she moved back to the US, all kinds of weird, but yeah.
She's had like 3 teams in like a calendar year or something crazy like that.
Yeah. I think maybe 4.
Oh, was it 4?
I think it's 4.
Yeah.
It's 4.
North Carolina, Man City, Houston, and now
San Diego.
Wave. Yeah.
Her like announcement video for San Diego was very, very cool though.
It reminded me of Fire Festival for some reason. Just that kind of like, you wish you was here, but you're not here, so enjoy this video kind of vibe. I was like, fair enough, looks nice. I'd sign for that video.
I like the California teams just seem to be like very kind of branded and very we're cool, you know. When you come over to the coast, and
it's just very California, isn't it? Like, we're so effortlessly cool. We have a beach, you know. Some other places have a beach. Like, leave us alone.
And everyone else is like, okay, but we play football. And they're like, don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it.
As they're on the beach with the surfboard, you're like, come on, it's all right here, you know.
What's one league that you think that you really enjoy outside of WSL? Because I think things can be very WSL-y focused. So it's like, and the other leagues don't get as much love. So what's one league you enjoy the most?
Just one.
Actually, you can name a few.
So new league launched this season, last calendar year, because it's now January. The WE League or the WE League or the Women Empowerment League, whatever you want to call it, the Japanese league is really, it's throwing up a lot of unexpected results as well. So you think, oh, that team are just going to win. No, okay, never mind. But yeah, it's really cool because you've kind of got like a balance. Like some teams are more stacked, but players are just saying, you know, we're full time. We're going to go out and we're going to go out and ball. So you're seeing players come in who were like playing for mid-table second tier teams in the previous season as part-timers, who are now just like, we're perfectly comfortable here. We're going to do what we can to get into the Japanese national team, whatever. Yeah. So it's a really fun league to watch. It's just means you can't sleep that much, but it's a big time difference. Really enjoying the WE League. They're on a bit of a winter break, which is a good segue because the Farm Bundesliga as well is always a fun one to watch, and they are also on a winter break right now. Oh, the football's gone.
At least you can sleep.
Maybe. It's a good place if you're a Lena Oberdorf fan as well. And Damallsvenskan is the other one, and it's probably useful for most WSL fans because half that league now plays over here. But yeah, the Damallsvenskan, again, it's kind of been pushed down to a bit more of a development league, a bit more of a stepping stone league, because other leagues are full time and they can offer money, but it's a really good it's great for bringing through Scandinavian players, but it's always been a bit of a destination league for like some African players and players from unexpected places who just show up and like, oh, okay, I'm going to make a note of you. You're very good. Yeah, but it really just the style is different from what you get used to in like WSL or in Germany or in France. It's again, no football right now because they have a summer season. But for back when the weather's better, Japan, Germany, and Sweden.
Very nice. Have to keep an eye on that. I think the Japanese league intrigues me. Big fan of Japan as an all, so it's why not? Why not check it out? I mean, the sleep, yeah, we can do that later.
Overrated.
I'm older than you guys, so yeah, I'm feeling it a bit more.
Oh yeah, I wanted to ask on this. I think it's just a question I want to ask every single women's football fan, basically. But what does it take to stop this Barcelona team, and can anyone do it realistically?
God, I say this jokingly. This is a joke. This is a joke. Please don't get angry. A serious case of COVID sweeping the team. That's how you stop them.
And I think they've had it, and everyone's back now. So
like Patry had to stay in England when they played Arsenal. Jenny's just had it. I think Matty's here. It's a scary time we're in right now with COVID. And I do hope, if any of those players do end up contracting it, they recover very quickly, very swiftly. It's my full disclaimer, it was a joke. I just think they play at such a level, and they play so smoothly and intelligently that you need to just kick them off the ball at every chance you get. And I literally mean kick them off the ball, because you've got to just foul all the time to stop them when they're in their flow, because there's not another team that can really go up against. And there are definitely sort of issues they have. They don't like playing on plastic pitches or hardly. Give them a nice grass pitch, and they're fine. But they struggle a bit more if it's a not as well loved pitch. But it's you've got to keep the ball from them, and that's pretty hard for a lot of teams to do. But I do hope. I hope none of them get COVID or get it again. I don't. Yeah.
It was a joke. It was a disclaimer. We'll stick a disclaimer on it. Talking about Barcelona though, like 50,000 tickets sold for El Clasico in 24 hours or just over now. I want to say, well, we spoke about it, Jay, and I said like, this could happen. But was it a surprise to you?
I think that fast, probably, yeah. But like they had 60,000 at the Wanda when Aleti played Barca few seasons ago. They've had massive numbers, like when Juventus were when they played their big game, the 1-0, that kind of kept stuff interesting. And I think there's a natural draw for Barcelona versus Real Madrid, and it doesn't matter that it's still a young Real. They are Real Madrid, Barcelona. Doesn't matter how they're going. There is a draw. It's Champions League. People are going to go over and fly over and watch it. Probably, it's a good thing to draw fans in. And you might go, well, I'll never get a ticket for the men's Clasico, but I can go and see the women's. I think I saw that the Champions League in Kiev. The tickets were so cheap as well, and people couldn't get tickets to see the men's game, the men's final. So they're like, oh, screw it. Well, I mean, it's a Champions League final in our home city. that's not going to happen again for a while. So yeah, I think people are going, oh, and everyone knows that the style and the level Barca play at, and current Champions League title holders, it's a game that naturally draws fans in. That's maybe we weren't expecting 50,000 like that, but yeah, it's just, I hope that for some of them, people can go, oh shit, let's follow this team, let's show up for more games, and it's not just that one flash in the pan like we've seen with other kind of games at men's stadiums, because yeah, that doesn't really do anything for the long-term interest in the sport. But it'd be cool, and it's great for the players to be able to say, look, we played at the Camp Nou, we've played in front of 50, 80,000 spectators. Like, it's for them to have that moment. Like, even when United played at Old Trafford during lockdown and there were no fans, that's still so, like, I keep saying cool, but yeah, it's cool for the players.
It's something to like tick off, isn't it? And hold yourself and be like, you know what? Like, when they look back in their career and go, you know what? Like, I played at Old Trafford. Like, when it's all said and done, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Using your word, but
yeah, and like, especially with how fast women's football's come on, and you've got, like, I want to say it was someone like Ella Toon. It might not have been, I can't remember, but she's like, yeah, like, I'm a United fan. It was just a really, like, surreal day, and I was taking selfies, and it was like, oh my god, so it's something again for players. Like, we talk about so many sort of young boys grow up like, oh, I'm a fan of this team, that team. Getting to play at the stadium is a dream come true every time it happens. To have that option for players is, it's nice.
I think I'm a bit with you as well. I thought it had the potential to be I thought it had the potential. I knew it would do well, but well to me was maybe 50,000 in total or 30,000. I thought, like, that's still like a huge number. But when it was like, okay, saw the first graphic, I saw the second graphic, I was like, is this the same graphic? And it like ticked up past it. I was like, oh no, it's gone further. But yeah, 50,000 in 24 hours, I don't think I didn't imagine it to be that quick. Like you said, there's always going to be an appetite. And I think the rivalry that Barcelona and Real Madrid have in history, not like it's always going to be a draw for people. But yeah, it's mind-blowing, like absolutely mind-blowing. And I always want to say, like, the European countries and European teams always, like, I feel like their fans are more up for it. Like, it's a tough one. I'm gonna be honest. I
think like in like South America, you're gonna have a lot of fans that are up for it.
Oh yeah, sorry, no, I was thinking like the UK WSL and then the European leagues. Yeah, South American teams, like,
yeah,
football's a religion over there.
yeah. No, like, I don't know. Like, I was at the City United game at the Etihad, and that was, a respectful number of fans there. But then, like, City's attendance numbers did not pick up one little bit. For us. You're thinking, how? Like, who? Like, were you all United fans? Like, go and the team play right there. Whereas, like, so many women's teams play in the middle of fucking nowhere. And
there's a tram stop right next to it. It's the easiest. We were saying it's like, that's what one of the, I was like, regardless of where it is, I was like, if a team has like good transport links, it sounds so gross, doesn't it? Like, boring, but it does help. And it's like, City, jump on a tram and you're there. Like, look, if you got nothing to do on a Sunday, like, go watch a game and go shopping after. If you need to do food shop, like, it's so easy and so accessible. And like, I just think, yeah, it didn't translate well at all. I don't know if it was down to the promotion, and then they were like, okay, yeah, we've done that one, and it's like, oh, we'll just go back to doing this. But yeah, I do think, like, just that extra push does show. And like, don't even get me started on games scheduled the same days as men's like that. That just drives me mental. But at the same times and opposite ends of the country, like, we'll just relax. But a parting note, I'm gonna pick your brain. We'll go back to Euros.
Okay.
I want to know your team that you think is your standout team and a standout player for people to keep an eye on.
Ooh.
I don't know if I want to be like a player who you're like, it's going to be amazing, or a player like if the stars align, this could be really good. I'm unsure. Maybe a both, but I just want to pick your brain.
Ooh. There are so many. There are going to be so many players at the tournament. That's I think in terms of teams, I think I've had kind of this weird sense that Germany are going to get to the final. I've had that for like 2 years now. I don't know if they will. It's just a weird sense I've had, and I could sort of see them coming up against sort of Sweden or Spain. Spain, I know everyone's, oh my God, Spain can now win the Euros. Look at them. Look at this Barcelona team. But I've also watched Spain at big tournaments, and it doesn't always work out for them. It never works out for them. But yeah, so I think those are my three. But a player. I'm gonna bit of a cop out because she absolutely ripped it up in 2017 and probably fell by the wayside and didn't get the plaudits she deserved. Lara Weisinger, who is Austrian. I guess she does the We Play Strongs as well, so a lot of people might know her. Supremely talented player. Just when she's fit, like how she plays for Frankfurt is just how she plays for Austria, and she's like a 90-minute just running, just creating, just positive football, and a real bright spark for Austria. And for some reason, she's a player who sprung to mind. There's a lot of players who could show up and do something very, very cool. Let's say Weisinger.
I'm just waiting for Weisinger to have an absolute stormer, so we
or
can
to get injured
back and come back. No, we're not having that. I'm not having that.
But that's what I end up doing to most players. Is she'll get injured just before the tournament.
Sophie, thank you so much for coming on. Jay, as always, big thanks.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, guys, really enjoyed this one. I'm gonna keep an eye out